My video for July the 22nd, 2019 is video number 3154. The title is, Please Add God to Your Prayer List. All my life, I have been a man who prays every day. In fact, several times daily. I have a circle of friends and relatives on my list, as well as Putin and Trump. For the last couple weeks or so, I've also been praying for God. I know that will sound crazy to many who do not pray at all, or pray to God for help in one way or another. For most of my life, I would have agreed, but not anymore. The world is really messed up, and as I see it, the buck stops with the original creator. We have been allowed to evolve in a very bad way, and it seems to me that our so-called junk DNA being deactivated is a possible cause. Why was this ever allowed in the first place? It makes no sense. Why was our language confounded? Yes, the Tower of Babel story. Sometimes it is simply not right, or something is simply not right. Anyone who cannot see the insanity must either be blind or totally brainwashed. Of course, we've all been misled. Me as well. That's why I've added God to my list. It's time to stop making excuses and heal this madness by whatever means is possible. To avoid a correction is totally irresponsible. To me, reincarnation or recycling lives seems insane as well. Where to begin? I wrote this blurb very early this morning after I recorded my last video, in fact. But it's the middle of the afternoon now, and I've already been to the yoga meeting that I go to every Sunday morning. And we had another interesting discussion today on the Bhagavad Gita. And of course, we talked about reincarnation and lives being recycled. And ironically, an ant was crawling across the table right next to where I was sitting. And I took my finger and I just a little teeny little piss ant, not one of the big ones, bigger ants, but a little teeny one. And I just killed it. And it was said that I could come back as an ant. I mean, that wasn't as a response to me killing the ant, but we can come back as just about anything, including animals and possibly even plants and amoeba or whatever. Any life form, because life just keeps recycling. Well, I don't believe in that reincarnation. I believe humans will only ever come back as humans, period. We are a unique and different creation to me than all the animals. Now, I may not be right on that, but that's my perspective. And I may not be right on lots of things, including praying for God. Do we have junk DNA? Have our codons been turned off? Certainly, some supposedly scientific evidence says that most of our DNA is deactivated. Why was it deactivated to begin with? What's been turned off? What talents, gifts, and abilities were we given at the beginning that we don't have any longer? Do we have abilities that we don't know now? Well, apparently there's been people, even in our own era, if you will, like the 20th century I'm talking about, like that little guy who built the Coral Castle here in Florida, and he did it all at night, lifting stones that weighed tons, and had a gate that you could push with your finger and it would swing open. It was so well balanced. No electronics required, and no rebuilding necessary at the beginning. Of course, it wore out because it was made out of coral, and coral is not a very hard substance. If it was made out of granite, it would have probably lasted a lot longer. In any case, he built that at night. He had an ability that we still can't figure out how he did it. Neither can we figure out how the pyramids were built. They certainly weren't built as some people have claimed of building these mounds and pushing these great big rocks and having animals even pull them, and crazy stories. No, we had abilities that we no longer have. Of course, We have abilities that we could look back 100 years that man didn't have. But we can also look back and we can say, but some people, even back then, like Tesla, gave us abilities to bring power out of the atmosphere, but it couldn't be metered. And so Edison won the prize and Tesla died a poor man. You know, these are stories in our age, in our era, if you will, that we can look back on and we can say, yeah, scratch our heads and say, what the heck is going on here? Where's the love? Where's the sanity? Obviously, money is insane. Even using gold and precious metals as they want to do with this so-called revaluation of currency, even that's an insanity in and of itself. Using anything other than ourselves and bartering with whatever we have, not money, but anything of substance we have. If one person plants a garden and has an excess of one crop and would like to have another crop, you trade crops. You trade what you have. You trade even your talents, and you just exchange talents. You don't need money, but money has become the way of it for us. And yet the people that control the financial resources by far and large, that create money and have been creating money out of thin air, they're not sane individuals. They may be highly intelligent, I'm not sure of that, but they could be very highly intelligent, but they're not sane. They're certainly not loving. They're certainly not caring individuals. They're certainly not trying to level the playing field. They like having the total imbalance of social structure. But who is allowing all of this? What is allowing it? Yeah, I think we've evolved. I've had past life regressions that seemed very real. I have dreams that I can't figure out who I am in the dream. Am I just the observer, or am I one that is being observed? I don't know the answer to that question. All I know is that I scratch my head and I wonder. I have these longings, these prayers for heaven on earth, but I don't see heaven on earth manifesting, and I don't see it coming through Donald Trump as long as he's aligned with the military might of the United States and with the nation of Israel. I know I've said that in other videos. He has some good things, and some lady says, why are you supporting the wall? I thought you were about building bridges. I support the wall because it has to be legal. It has to be lawful. People that immigrate, and I'm all in favor of immigration to any country on earth, but you can't just immigrate to any country because some countries won't allow you to. And I wouldn't want to live in a country where they had a very narrow religious viewpoint. I'd probably be killed as a false prophet or something, a heretic or something, because I don't accept a little narrow viewpoint. I want love to be my religion. I want truth to be my spirituality. I want reality, in other words, and reality is something not afar off, but something that I can experience in the present tense, in the here, in the now. That's what I'm looking for. So I have to pray to God. God, take responsibility for your creation. Stop making excuses. Stop saying it's up to us. Well, if it's up to us, empower us. I know I've said that also lots of times and in recent videos, but we need to be empowered and somehow enriched and somehow awakened so that we can stop fighting each other and start working together for a common goal of liberating humanity and of making the earth the paradise that I honestly believe it was created to be in the beginning. Thank you, folks, for listening, and namaste.